the filming whilst making food and in my downtime occurs yet again. It's been busy couple of days. Check the last video for, this is piling up again. Check the last video for a not so brief explanation of what we're really trying to do here. But this video is that of a funding ask. So I know that is not the most fun video to watch, but if you've been specifically sent this, I think you are in an opportunity to help out. You're likely somebody who's close to me, and likely somebody who is more financially stable than I am. So what I would implore you to do now is to check the README associated with the GitHub that I will likely send with this video, and potentially even the broader document that we submitted to the Maze Business School. We're currently in the running for $100,000 top prize, and I believe it just halves per prize, going down under that to the top 12 AI business ventures within the nation that applied to this competition. So long term, or I guess medium term, our funding is not going to be a horrible issue. And as soon as we get the platform up, ideally, if it is a successful platform, it is going to become self-funding, especially as this is something that we want to have be creator-led, creator-maintained, and creator-benefiting. Making sure that it is self-funding is an imperative of ours. So hopefully we won't have to do a big funding ask. Especially because the dilutive funding methods are not going to be utilizable for this. At least not in the way traditionally one envisions them. So, right now, the funding ask is quite simple. Buy me a coffee. I am going to need a lot of energy. So not just coffee in specific, but Ko-fi is ko.fi. is a funding platform akin to Patreon. I will also have a Patreon set up if that's of desire, but made for developers to be able to be crowdfunded. It is a non-dilutive funding method, and there is no return on investment at this stage. I'm being explicitly clear for that. I cannot guarantee, without anything other than putting my own effort, my own life savings, my own trust in this endeavor, I cannot guarantee that this will get to the state that I believe it can be, that it can grow to. But what I can guarantee is that I'm going to be putting every waking moment of my time into working on this until it is to the state that I want it to get to. So, if you haven't seen any prior videos and you haven't read the README, I'll give you a quick TLDR. I am starting a business, a startup, in the EdTech field, that being education technologies, specifically to address the need that is our current education system not being as good as it really could be in modern day. By integrating modern technologies, such as the LLM, the personal knowledge management system, and the algorithmic-based content feed, into education in a way that is productive and promotes learning, promotes, ideally altruism, and demotes misinformation and the AI slop that we are kind of seeing in our current algorithmic social medias, that being slop in general. But positing these technologies more towards education itself. Just read the notes, read the README, get yourself up to speed. But the initial funding ask, I'm rambling, I'm dancing around the topic, but it's not that much. It's anything that you can contribute in your current state. And it doesn't even have to just be funding, but spreading the word of this, such that maybe people who are in more financial, stable situations can help, if they so choose. A philosophy of mine is that this is for the community, and if the community wants it, they're going to have to fund it. I myself am not in a state of financial stability in order to fully fund this, but I am in a state of time available such that I can put in the effort and my skills that I've acquired over the years to developing these technologies. The amount of effort that's already gone into this is quite insane. We are building up a team, so if you want to contribute, feel free. This is going to be open sourced, and it will be community maintained, is the short of it. But yeah, so look into it a little bit further. For now, while you're doing so, I can kind of explain what we really need the money for, just starting out. As this is a technology platform that is based on like AI, we're going to need servers. We're going to need storage for any data that we are going to be collecting and utilizing, especially that of like public databases of knowledge corpuses, such as the PMC database. We plan to mirror that and help build it. On top of that, other just like Elsevier, other open paper databases for education. We need to be able to download that content, process that content, and kind of build out our MVP. That's still a later cost, but going back, we need the funds to get the LLCs started. It's not much, but it's still there. Purchase the domains and hosting for all of the like getting the actual MVP out there, and development time. So I have calculated that I have a 60-day runway. That being, I have until June 30th to kind of get this to a state where I can figure out whether I can devote the entirety of my time to it or not. At that point, if I have to get a corporate job, this only delays the release of this technology. I don't want that, and if you don't want that, you're going to have to help out. I want this to come to fruition within my lifetime, and that being a subset of my lifetime. This is not what I want to do with my entire life. This is what I want to do to jumpstart the life I want to live. One of the main clauses of this is that of the DAO transfer clause. It's not that I don't have faith in this, it's that I want to do the things with my life that are truly fulfilling to me. And making an impact is one of those things, but making art, consuming that art, learning about our culture, learning about us as humans, learning about the science behind all this. I am a lifelong learner at my core, and I want to be able to continue doing so. This is a platform that I am making such that I can use the platform. I am the one who has the problem that I deem worth solving, so I'm going to solve it at whatever cost it is to myself. To get started, I plan to utilize the leftover of my student loan funds to kind of jumpstart this, and the competition, if we win, when we win. That will be great, but in order to get the MVP up for the competition, I need immediate funding for those short-term asks. So again, spread the word, help me out, we can make something really great. But yeah, so what I can offer for whatever y'all contribute is kind of twofold. I can offer a seat as initial users, and I can offer a seat on the initial funding ask for the profit-making portion of this. So again, by this I mean the education platform we're going to be developing, and with that, the marketplace for what I like to call accelerative learning tools. So the platform we're calling School, SCOOL, the scalable community of online learning, open online learning. Because that's what we really want this to be. We want this to be a community that kind of takes the global education market by storm, and becomes the new kind of back end for education. We value the in-person education as we are very social creatures, us as humans. So that is imperative to having a good learning environment. So again, this is not anything that's going to be disruptive in the way that life as we know it is going to fall apart. This is supposed to support it and keep it as it kind of was, to an extent. The urgency of this is only growing by the day with acts like school choice and the proposed voucher system that is going to be implemented here in Texas quite soon, to my knowledge. If you want to explore more, I will also link a precursor note, a paper that I wrote about the school choice bill. But keeping that short is, it is potentially the death of the public education. So what I mean by that is these public institutions that are currently funded by the government will essentially cease to exist. And the logic that goes to that is such that their funding mechanisms are built on the attendance that of those schools. And by allowing, if not motivating people to leave those schools that are already underfunded and therefore underperforming, by motivating people to leave those schools, it decreases their funding further and causes a negative cycle of those schools getting worse and worse and worse until they just go bankrupt. It is a funding issue, but by lowering the overhead, I think we can potentially either save it or move on to something greater. My personal hopes and dreams are that this can create a essentially sustainable market of learning communities, that being like per neighborhood, like doing little like homeschool things, but using this type of software to support that, but also still support inter-community growth. I'm going off on a tangent. TLDR, if you want to help, read about it, share it, and fund it if you can. But yeah, thank you.